Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to this, the first of the year, the Fit to Bid webinars. I think I can, we're the 15th of January now, so I think I can just about get away with still wishing you a happy new year. Let's hope 2026 will be a good year for us all, positive, and hopefully we'll win lots of new contracts and watch business grow. And the world's a slightly mad place at the moment, but let's focus on what we can do locally to grow our businesses, collaborate and work together. So this morning, just to give you a little bit of detail, this webinar should last about an hour or so. It is recorded, so we don't send out these slides afterwards, but it is being recorded and it should be, will be, uploaded to our YouTube, the Brandwin Business Support YouTube channel, maybe towards the end of next week or the early the week after. So you will be able to watch it again if there's some details you want to follow up with. Because there's quite a bit of information we'll cover today. So yeah, you can watch that again afterwards. So let's crack on a bit. So just a little bit about me. So my name is Tracy James. I'm the Programme Manager. Up there it says Southwest Hearts, but actually it should say Harrow. So I'm a business advisor. I've been working with Brandwin Business Support for about 4 years now. And separately, I run my own business consultancy. I work closely with SMEs across London, Hertfordshire, and sort of surrounding counties as well. I'm a director. I run the Gateway to Business Networking Group based in Ruislip. And I've also delivered programmes for Harrow Council with NatWest and Women in Business. And I was also a judge on the Harrow Business Den panel, the Dragon's Den type thing. That was going back a little while. And I've also delivered programmes for Brent and Hillingdon. So quite well known sort of in the locality, do lots of work with SMEs and many years of experience. So that's a little bit about me. My details are there on the left-hand side if you should need to contact me regarding this programme. So we do have a chat box available. There will be an opportunity to put some comments in the chat as we go through. And then towards the end, hopefully if we have time, then there'll be a opportunity to ask some questions. If for any reason we run out of time, then so those are my details there. Do take note of them and you can contact me separately. So this is the first of the two interactive online workshops. Actually, there's going to be more than two, but these are just the interaction, the sort of interactive workshops for the introduction to bid writing. So today's is a foundation. So we're going to talk literally about the foundation of bid writing, you know, how to start, what to look for, etc. And then next week we'll go into more detail. We'll build on what we've covered today. So this is a little bit about what we're going to cover today. Why do organisations go to tender and what are they looking for? Getting the basics right, and that's absolutely crucial. It sounds obvious, but it is crucial. If you understand the basics of bid writing, what to do and what not to do, then you're going to stand yourself in good stead. And what makes up a winning bid? We'll talk a little bit about the golden rules, understanding questions and objectives, talking about your solution and the selling points, if you know what you're offering, benefits and value, and that's really important, something that we need to discuss, or benefits over with value as well, and over sort of features, a little bit about research, and also about writing a bespoke and accurate bid. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about Brandwin Business Support. Some of you may have met me before, either through this programme or some of the other programmes that we've run. You may have met us at the Meet the Bar event or the Harrow Means Business event back end last year. But for those of you that have not met us before, and then I know also some of you on here from the Heathrow SME Academy, so welcome to you as well this morning. Basically, who are we? Brand Business Support, what do we do? So we work with local authorities, local councils, chambers of commerce, universities, some big construction projects, and banking institutions as well, and major sort of transport hubs. And essentially what we do, we work with these organisations to deliver business support or business growth programmes. The aim of it really is to kind of build community wealth. That's the point, is to help develop businesses within a particular community, to sort of upskill them. We run different types of programmes, some I'll come to in a moment. And we work with all kind of business owners, ready from startup to businesses that are looking to scale, both in the UK and overseas. So we cover quite a wide range, and we've worked with quite a number of businesses. So we are established in 2011. So yeah, 15 years now. Time's gone really quick. I say I've been with the team like 4 years or so now. So that's flown by as well. We have delivered over 45 different programmes over the 11 years across London and the South East. We've connected with over 25,000 SMEs, an enormous number. So myself and my colleagues, the team, we're very skilled at understanding the needs of small businesses, and equally we are all business owners as well. So we know firsthand the challenges and the opportunities that being a business owner actually brings, and it's joyful too as well sometimes. Lots of success stories, hundreds of success stories, small business we've worked with who have actually gone on to win contracts and just watch the business scale. So I said we're mainly based in London and the South East, but we are working out towards even moving out sort of west a little bit, and then towards Midlands and the north as well. So we are growing. So we run different types of programs, everything sort of from startups to sort of business resilience. We do the Fortuna, the Women in Business program, which we've run a few times, Fit to Export as well. Our main flagship program is the Fit to Bid program. That's the program that you're signed up for now. So everything today will be focused on this Fit to Bid program. This is our partnerships and collaborations. Now, if you've been on any of the other programs or you've seen any of the other presentations that we delivered, you will understand, or you will know, that my colleague Naiza has always said it's taken us, well, it's 14 years now, actually, I think, to build this slide. And these are the partners that it's not because we're no good at doing PowerPoint, it's because it takes that long to actually develop really strong, robust relationships, as being a business owner. So across the top there, these are some of the local authorities that we are currently working with or have worked with. So currently we're running the programme in Harrow. Also, we've just finished a programme literally at Christmas time for Southwest Hearts, hoping for phase 2, an extension to that this year. And Ealing and Hounslow are running as well. So we're quite busy in and around London currently. There in the middle, you'll see the Chambers of Commerce that we've worked with, so all the way down to Hampshire up to Hertfordshire, in quite a few in between there. And then at the bottom, these are some of our partners that we're working with, and we are a partner with Heathrow on their SME Academy. And I will talk towards the end just a little bit about Heathrow and a lift-off programme that they have just launched. So I will cover that right at the end. Okay, so Fit to Bid, it's approved actually by the UK government, which we're absolutely delighted about. And it's really a testament to the quality of the programs that we run and the outcomes that have come from that program. So if you put in Fit to Bid on Google, you'll see there we are. We come up as a government approved supplier, which we're absolutely delighted about. It kind of reinforces the work that we're doing here. So some of the programs, just an overview, as I just mentioned there, these are some of the programs that we have delivered recently or still currently delivering. So the Heathrow SME Academy is currently running as well, as is this Harrow program. So you're here under Harrow. So the methodology, how to submit a winning bid. So some of you may have been, this first step clearly is to engage with procurement. And we launched the programme at the Harrow Means Business event back in October at Victoria Hall, where we had our colleagues from Harrow Council joined us, a procurement team and economic development team from Harrow. They were there and they delivered a presentation about what they're looking for in suppliers, the routes for procurement, the different levels of contracts. So that's initial stage, is engaging with procurement. From there, you would have registered onto the programme, hence why you're here today. And you may or should have received an online bid capability questionnaire, which would have completed to give us a bit more information about yourselves. And then you come through to the bidding skills. So these are the workshops, a series of workshops that we deliver for you. And that covers everything from the basic bidding skills, looking at your business, sort of doing SWOT analysis, your value proposition, what makes you stand out from your competitors. And that kind of includes the kind of sales enablement as well. And then it comes through to the one-to-one tender advice sessions. Some of you may have already had a one-to-one session with myself or my colleague Jeevan. If you haven't yet booked a one-to-one session, so they are funded as part of this programme, so it doesn't cost you anything other than an hour of your time. The sessions are held online. If you haven't yet booked one, do book one, because this programme is only running up until March, middle of March, maybe end of March. So not a lot of time really, because middle of January already. But I'll talk to you more about that towards the end and how to contact me to book in a programme and a session, sorry. And during that session, it gives us the opportunity and you the opportunity to talk about your business. If you have submitted a tender, a bid, how well you've done with that. If you haven't, you know where to start. That's a great opportunity for us to dive deeper into where you are and help you to position yourself so you can start to actually write a bid or submit an expression of interest. And then after that, we have the Meet the Buyer event. So we've had one. That was at the Zoroastrian Centre in Rayners Lane last year, 20th of November. And so we've got another one coming up for the end of the programme, possibly late Feb, early March, date yet to be confirmed, but we will let you know as soon as we have that information confirmed. And if you have been to one of these events before, then you'll know it's a great opportunity to meet members of the council face to face. The one we had back in November, it was mainly construction focus. We had Waits there. They do major sort of construction projects across Harrow and Thermoserve and lots. I think we had about 10 different buyers there. And if you did attend that, it'd be great to sort of get some feedback from you to see whether you followed up with anybody and any sort of further outcomes. If you've not been to one yet, I highly recommend that you do attend the next one. So that's basically just an overview of the programme. So moving on really to the bulk of the programme today. So key supply chain issues for SMEs. This is kind of the feedback that we have when we sort of talk to people about actually going for contracts, bigger contracts, public public sector contracts and also private contracts. Today we're going to focus more on the public sector contracts and what the key issues are actually for SMEs. So most people come back and say they don't have any experience in working with the public sector. Yeah, we hear that quite a lot. The industry is dominated by big companies that actually prevent SMEs from having a chance. That's not so much the case now. I know a lot of people say that, oh, we won't get a look in because it's somebody they know through the council, or we're too small. That's not necessarily the case anymore. And as part of the Procurement Act, I won't bore you with all the details, but the latest Procurement Act, there is now a requirement for the buyers, big buyers, to allocate a proportion of their contracts to SMEs. So it doesn't mean that you are necessarily locked out of any contract. Yeah, there'll be stipulations depending on the size of the contract. If you can meet that criteria, then you have as good a chance as anyone else. So the days of it just being dominated by the big companies, it's not necessarily the case now. The business is largely unknown to the public sector buyers. Yes, we see that a lot of SMEs just don't have the opportunity to connect with local authorities, but that's changing. And if you were at that event in November, two of our colleagues from Harrow, Billy Reid and David Hayes, they actually invited SMEs, come and build a relationship with us, come and get to know us. We want to work with you. And I have found this through a lot of the local authorities that I deal with. Once we've run these events, and particularly the Meet the Buyer events, and they meet all these businesses that are in their locality, quite often they say to me, we didn't know this many businesses were here. We just don't always connect with. I know the economic development teams, they do that, have outreach, they connect with businesses, but not to the level of kind of skill and knowledge that SMEs have within the borough. So it's a great opportunity now through this programme to really connect with the teams at Harrow. If you're part of the SME Academy, Heathrow, you may be in different boroughs, maybe Hillingdon or elsewhere. Connect with the teams at your local authority. They want to work with you. So any events that I run, I say, like, for example, these Meet the Buyer events, quite often they'll run business networking events through the councils. Do attend, sign up for their newsletter, connect with them through LinkedIn or other forms of media. So it's a case of getting yourself out there and getting yourself known to the public sector buyers. And again, so people can't reach the right people. As I say, these events will give you the opportunity to speak to the right people face to face. So it's a great opportunity to do that. Lack of proactive marketing and strategy. Yes, we see that quite a lot. People say, oh, we can't, nobody knows who we are. It's increasing your visibility. And sometimes people do a lot of marketing and, quite sort of good activity in marketing, but actually is always effective. So through the programme, we can look at that as well. Dated or no client testimonials or reviews. If you're looking to bid for contracts, this is absolutely crucial. This is something that you must have. You must have client reviews and testimonials, and not 3 years old or 4 years old. Every time you're working with a client, if it's appropriate, ask them for a review or a testimonial. Anybody who you're going to be submitting a bid, they want to see, the procurement teams want to see that you've feedback, who you've worked with, what that feedback actually is, and they don't want to see it from 3 years ago. They want to see what you're doing right now. So if you've not got any client reviews or testimonials, so we'll make that one of the missions this year to actually start getting them. It's easy to get sort of Google reviews and case studies as well, but I'll come on to case studies a little bit later. I realise we've only got an hour. So limited knowledge about the tendering process. I'll go through all of these. Again, that's why you're on this programme, to help you, sort of upskill you as to what you actually need to do to start writing a bid and hopefully get a winning bid as well. And no idea to put into their bid. Well, by the time you finish on this programme, you'll know exactly what to do. So that's it. So program benefits, so we'll just go through this quickly. So as part of the program, so you'll get an assessment of your bid writing skills, knowledge and skills to implement best practice. There'll be the Meet the Bar events, the one-to-one sessions. I can't stress that enough. It's a great opportunity if you've not booked one. We get assistance to submit an expression of interest. That is exactly what it is. If there's a council or one of the private sector buyers that you want to work with, an expression of interest, if you've not heard that expression before, it literally is, it's a letter, it's an email or a letter expressing your interest in working with that particular organisation. And we do have guidelines and templates for you to use should you wish to do that. Gain support writing in submitting bids, business model canvas, value proposition. And again, the value proposition, we will come on to this more next week when we speak. Again, this is really crucial that you look at your value proposition to understand, so you know what it is that you're delivering more so than your competitors. What is the value that you are actually offering as an organisation? That stands you out from your competitors. So that's something we'll look at again next week. Okay, so did you bid on this? So this is, as we all know, the Wembley Stadium. And interesting, actually, I did some research on it earlier, and it's almost 20 years since Wembley Stadium, the new stadium, has opened. So incredible. So maybe at the time you may have bid on that for work on the country, on the stadium, or not. But any of you who knows Wembley, if you live in sort of the Harrow area, this area, if you're local and you drive down that way from time to time, you'll see everything around the outskirts of the stadium. Massive construction still ongoing. For those of of a certain age, you remember years ago that there used to be where all those high-rise buildings are now. Used to be the Wembley Market on a Sunday morning, great market. But now it's all luxury apartments and flats. And I drove down there the other day, and for a split second, I kind of lost my bearings because it almost seems overnight that another tower block has emerged. There's still lots and lots of work going on in and around Wembley. So it'd be interesting to understand if anybody had actually bid or is working for or is bidding on any of the work going on at Wembley. So a quick exercise just so we can understand where you are. Your experience in bidding. Have you ever tendered before? Have you completed a handful of tenders, or do you regularly submit bids and tenders? So if you'd like to just add some examples to the chat. So one, if you've never tendered before. Two, if you have completed a handful of tenders, they were kind of, and it is two or three. How do you do? Have you had success with tendering? Or not. So if you just like to stick a couple of little things in the bid. So Nazine, so two, you have bid before, but no response. So Adam, never tendered before. Okay. All right. So some of you have never bid before. Okay, that's fine. Okay, yeah, Natalie, I have submitted tenders and have been successful. That's great. So that's good to hear. Yeah, one. Buckingham Futures. Yeah, okay. Also, someone has just completed tenders and just won one tender. So congratulations on that. They're not easy. They're not easy to do. Yeah, we're taking it more successful. Right, okay, so yeah, a bit of a mixed bag here. So yeah, we've had quite a few who've never tendered before, but one or two of you here who have bid for tenders and have been successful. So yeah, it'll be interesting to learn. Maybe after you'd like to message me just to understand a little bit more about what you bid for and how that was successful. So that just gives me an idea of where you are. So why do you say, and again, just want to put some comments in the chat. Why do organisations go to tender, and what broadly do you think they actually look for in a provider? So if you just want to pop some ideas in the chat for me. Yeah, best value for money. Yes, in some cases is best value for money. Right, okay. Yeah, so why do companies go to tender, and what actually are they looking for? So yeah, to enable a fair and objective comparison, particularly with local authorities, and also contracts over a certain value as well. They will go to full tender. For local authorities, if it's under a certain value, maybe 30,000, 50,000, it depends on which local authority. It will just be, again, 3 quotes from suppliers that they know of. But of course, they will, when we're talking about, the full tender process, yes, absolutely, to enable a fair and objective comparison. And again, it's minimising the risk in supplier selection. They need to know that the contract is going to be valued, that supplier will still be there for the length of the contract, that their financials are in place, their policies are up to date, insurances. So absolutely minimises the risk in supplier selection. Again, ensuring compliance with relevant legislation, whether that's construction or data providers, whatever it may be. They need to ensure that just going to the wrong screen. Ensure compliance with legislation and policies. Achieve a sustainably competitive price. Yes, they do need to achieve a sustainably competitive price. Price isn't everything these days, and a lot of people said to me, "Oh no, I'm not going to tender. I can't be bothered because they're only going to go drive it down to the lowest price." That is not necessarily the case so much these days. There's a bigger emphasis on value. Yes, price comes into it, and it has to be competitive, but the added value and other benefits are also considered equally along with price. So if you have a view, it's like, oh, it's just the cheapest wins. That is not always the case. Of course, they need to deliver a return on their investment and their value for money, particularly for local authorities, and deliver efficiencies, of course, those that can be measured. The other thing they look for now is that innovative mindset. Those people who are maybe using new forms of technology, not necessarily AI. We know AI has kind of come into everything now, or most parts of the workplace. Some form of AI is being used. It's not necessarily use of AI, but it's a kind of looking at solutions that will drive sort of a higher value and give better results. And a forward-thinking business is not just a case we can deliver A and B, as it states in the tender contract, but actually we do C as well. And this gives you, more cost savings, drives higher efficiencies. So they're looking with people who are businesses or companies that are much forward thinking. I won't go through the whole list because I realise that we're kind of halfway through already. But yeah, as I say here, it's access, reliable, accurate, real-time data, and somebody with a problem-solving ethic as well. That's really important. So first things first, when you actually think, okay, so you've identified a contract that you would like to bid for, what actually is the process? So the first thing that you will do, so you've seen something, you've registered your interest, you'll then be sent a supplier questionnaire. When you get this questionnaire, it's really important that you fill in every single section. Everything they've asked you, follow it exactly. Everything they ask, you need to complete every single section. If you miss some sections out or you don't answer it completely, straight away you're going to go onto the not interested list. Okay, so it's really important that you fill everything in. And myself, the team are available if this is the case and you need some help with this, then we're here to guide you on that. You get a form of tender, that's particularly in the public sector. You'll need to sign that. A non-collusive non-collusion, I can't speak, non-collusion certificate, again, public sector, you'll be asked to sign that. And there's some terminology, so those of you that have tendered before or bid before, you'll know this terminology. For those that haven't, you'll see some of these little, anagrams here. So ITT is an invitation to tender. So when you've submitted your interest, you'll be sent a document, which is an invitation to tender. That will give you the outline of the scope of the project, a request for information, request for proposal, and a pre-qualification questionnaire. Some of these will come on to, particularly the pre-qualification questionnaire. We'll come on to that in the next meeting next week. Accounts and your financials, you will be asked to provide that. They need to be up to date and need to be accurate, of course. Any references, you'll be asked to provide references. Policies provided if required. Policies must be up to date. And you'll be, well, you may or may not be surprised to hear people I speak with on over the past few years on these programs who do not have policies in date. Insurances as well. Speaking to somebody who had no insurance as a business and didn't realise they needed insurance as a business. These are givens, so this is absolutely everything that you should have. Policies, if you've got them, review them every year. Review them, update them every year. So it shows that you've actually done that. Anything in law that's HR policies, make sure that, again, they're up to date to include any latest legislation, your health and safety policies, everything should be up to date. Your pricing file, make sure that's complete breakdown of how you actually price your services and goods. And one thing we do say is plan and allow sufficient time for those of you that have actually been through this process and have bid for contracts will know the amount of time it takes. And I don't want to scare you off if you've not done this before, but it is important to allow sufficient time to manage, to say, project manage your response carefully. So we suggest that you use a simple spreadsheet, Excel, or whatever works for you, and track your goals and milestones. Who's on the bidding team who can help you? It might just be, you're a sole trader. It might be one or two of you. So decide who's going to take, your small business or your bigger business, 3 or 4 of you, decide who's going to be on the team and who's going to be responsible for what. Quite often, it's just one person. I would suggest, if possible, you can have 2 or more people. It's good to discuss what you're actually putting together and how you're doing that, and who's responsible for what. If possible, if you have this option, always have somebody external to, once you've written your bid, your document, have somebody external have a look at it. Because quite often, and again, I've come across people who said, yeah, we write it, we do it in-house, and then we send it off. And I said, does anybody external look at it? Because how you're in the business every day, and how you think the business runs and how you describe that business could be very different to somebody who's reading that document. So somebody who's not directly connected with the business, ask someone to read it. Again, just for the fact that somebody just proofreading and formatting or anything else, sometimes when you read, you look at something, it can get lost. Don't forget, this procurement teams, when they're looking, they don't know anything about you. They know nothing about your business at all, or you. So when they pick up that document and they're looking at it, it needs to be clear. They need to understand exactly who you are, what you do, what your team do, your financials, what the solution is that you can deliver, how you deliver that. So it's always good to have somebody else, so external, just to read actually what you've put together. Know the deadlines, and always work to the day before, or you will run out of time. And I have had people before who've submitted, so say the deadline is 12th of Feb, 12 p.m. I've had people at 11:59 send through their document, panicked and stressed, and okay, I've got to send it through. And quite often when that happens, there's typos or there's mistakes. Always work till the day before. If it's sent at 12:01, it's not even going to be accepted. It's got to be by the deadline, preferably not 11:59 if you can help it. Always do it the day before. So a winning bid, practical elements. So here we're going to talk about the golden rules, and there's 6 golden rules here. 2 actually we're going to cover today. So number 1, directly answer the questions according to the evaluation criteria and show understanding of the broader needs and objectives. The others, the other 4, we're going to cover in our session next week. So the fundamental golden rules of bidding is, now this is going to be really obvious, excellent bids will usually win contracts and poor bids will usually lose contracts. So it's as simple as that. But it appears, it's quite self-evident, that's kind of obvious, but typical issues, and we see this time and time again, what we would class perhaps as a poor bid, is providing incomplete answers or not understanding the question. We're going to come on to this in a minute about understanding the question. And it's breaking down what's being asked. It's breaking that down into different sections and then answering each of those sections. So I'll give you an example in a moment. Focusing only on your business and not on the customer. You really need to understand what the customer needs, what they're looking for, and how you can solve that need. The other things are describing the features. We deliver, IT solutions, and we've got 30 years experience. And so what? That's great. What are the benefits? What are the benefits to that end user, to the customer? And again, we see that a lot. People describe all the features, but not the benefits. So we need to focus on the benefits. Lack of hard evidence or claims, like I said before, reviews, testimonials are crucial. And there's many, many more. We don't have time to go through all of those today. So why choose us? When we are about to write a winning bid, the first question is, why us? And, if you think to yourself, I'm not going to ask you to put in the chat because time is, we don't actually have a lot of time, but just do this separately in the office today, or you can do it now or later on. Why would a company choose you as a supplier? And again, think about the benefits that you provide, not just the features, that you're passionate about what you do, because I would expect every business, and you would expect every business to be passionate about what they do. We've got 20 years experience, so that's great. You've got 20 years experience, so that shows that you've been around a long time and clearly you're doing something right if you've got 20 years experience. But what is it, what's more than that I would be able to choose you as a supplier? What more are you going to deliver? And how can you evidence that you have proven expertise in these fields? So just a exercise for you to do later on or after this webinar. Again, put yourself in the mind of the buyer. And when you're doing that, when you think, well, someone's buying from you, you're writing the bid actually from their perspective then. As we say, that empathy is powerful. So think about what they're actually looking for. These can be some reasons why you could choose your company. And it's a reason why a potential customer would choose you. How well do they know you? Do you have a relationship with that buyer? Just because you have a relationship doesn't mean that you've got an in. It's all right. But again, if it's not going through that full tender process and you're coming down to maybe 3 quotes, do they know you? Do they know your work? Do they know your reputation? Do you work with, what's your social value? Again, we'll come on to this again next week as well. What do you do in the local community? Do you have a relationship with that particular customer, that buyer? If it's a council, as I said earlier on, they want to build relationships with SMEs in the borough. So, do you have that relationship? Again, evidence, how do you evidence what you do and how well you do it? So keep up with those case studies, those testimonials and references and reviews. And again, where do they find this evidence? Is it on your website? Is it Google reviews? Is it, do you have a brochure, a company brochure perhaps? And again, it's through demonstrating your expertise and experience in the sector. What does your brand say? Are you well known and for the right reasons? Have you worked on similar contracts? So can you evidence that actually this contract, we've worked on similar contract, this was the outcomes, this is what we delivered, these are the benefits we added. And again, knowledge and experience of your team, size and level of your team of resource. what is the knowledge of your team? Are they skilled? You send them on training courses. If you don't have a big team, if it's 2 or 3 of you in your business, how do you upskill yourself, and how is that recorded and evidenced? So these are just some of the reasons that a customer, a client will actually want to work with your company. So quite often people say, yeah, well, I've sent my company brochure. Okay, well, so what? Because everything you're going to say about yourself, most of your competitors are going to say about themselves as well. So it's going to be no different. A company brochure is not enough. Yeah, it might be pretty and glossy, what have you, but it doesn't say enough about what you do. It needs to be really kind of focused and a real kind of sort of value-driven narrative. And again, if you keep saying with evidence, if you want to score high marks when you're bidding for a contract, you have to have evidence of what you have achieved and how you've achieved it. So the golden rule is to understand what you're being asked, and the objectives are critical to writing a winning bid. So when we're looking at what the objectives and needs are, so say for this example, we're going to talk about, Harrow Council. So there's a contract from Harrow Council. What are the organisational objectives and drivers for the council? What is their 5-year plan? You can find all of this on the Harrow Council website. So I'm just going to use this because it's a Harrow programme. This is just an example, but it could be anywhere else. It could be, looking to work with Heathrow or Waits or, I don't know, Warner Brothers, whoever it might be. What are their objectives? What are their drivers? What are they looking to achieve? Local authority, you'll find it on their website because they have to be open and transparent. So that is easy to find. With some of the private sector, maybe not so easy, but generally, if their websites are up to date, you will see, or any other publications, you will see what they are trying to achieve. What are the absolute needs of the project? What's just like, it's a, if you don't have it, it's a deal breaker. What are the absolute needs? What are they absolutely trying to achieve that you must have? It could be, I don't know, if you're a data company or something, you have to have, you would have it anyway, but, cyber security, certain levels, these are absolute needs of a contract. Identify what that is. There may even be some sub-needs there as well. And what is considered as added value, what they think is added value, and what you can actually add to that, that added value. So they tell us this actually in the invitation to tender. So read the specification, it will all be there. This is what we're looking for. This is the needs. It could be, insurance needs. You have to have £10 million of insurance, or whatever the case may be. That might be one of the criteria. But read every single bit, get your highlighter pen out, and you go through and highlight it bit by bit. If there's any questions you're not sure of, you can go back. Usually there's a sort of open forum. You can, it's anonymized, but you can go in through the Q&A system. You can ask questions once you've had the ITT, invitation to tender, anything you're not sure, you can go back and ask for clarification. And there's no, it's not sort of frowned upon in any way. That's the reason why it's there. So you've got as much information to start with as you possibly can. So what's the question analysis? Oh yeah, maximising the score. So yeah, we'll have a look quickly because I'm where we actually do only have 15 minutes. It's correctly identifying the question elements to make it easier to understand. And this establishes how you will structure your answer. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example here, and we won't actually go through on the chat, but this is actually from a real bid. Okay, please provide a high-level description of the structure of the company and the structure of the division or part of the company responsible for delivering the services, including the number of people in each team. Okay, that's point 1. Point 2, please provide a description of the resources expected to deliver the proposal. Point 3, please describe other key contracts being delivered in a similar time frame and how many conflicts will be managed. So we don't have a lot of time. So what we'll do, we'll just move on. So how many elements are there that we must answer? So if we look at it now, so there's 6 elements there. Okay, so when you're actually then structuring your response to that, you need to answer these 6 elements. Okay, number 1, a high-level description and structure of the company. Yeah. identifying the structure of the division or part of the company responsible for delivering the services. So you may have the different areas of the business that would be delivering these services, and where that comes to in the structure of the business. People in the team, description of the resources expected to deliver the proposed solution, and so on. Describe the other key contracts being delivered, and how many resource conflicts will be managed. So you see, when you break it down, so that's what you'll do when you get your invitation to tender and you write it down. You go through and highlight all these key points, because if you miss any of these key points, then you're going to score less than you actually could. This is a scoring sort of criteria example. So nobody wanted to score 0. It's no point, you've not answered it properly, or 1 or 2. You want to be up here, score 5 or 4. Really, the worst place to be is 3. So the answer describes the solution adequately, with some added benefit, reasonable evidence, but no value is expressed. As I keep saying, you need to look at what value you can deliver. So really, we want to be in score 5. Well, ideally, you want to be in 5, but even 4. Some value through quantification, a good solution shown with reasonable evidence. But to really kind of maximize the score, this is where you need to be: a well-defined solution linked to clear benefits, backed up by strong evidence. Quantification has been included, showing what's clear value. So again, it's that messaging about evidencing what you do, your testimonials, your case studies, references, and what value you actually bring. And next week, we'll talk a little bit more about other sort of scoring matrix and the values and how they're actually scored. Okay, so researching the client, what are resources and what you can do to actually research the client. Well, for public sector, so this is another exercise, you can just write down where you can actually get this information. For public sector research, everything is available that you will need to know. We've got some examples here from Wandsworth in Richmond. Wandsworth, for example, it tells you who the executive directors are and their contact details. So this you will be able to find, as if you're looking for Harrow, you'll be able to go online and find all of this. They tell you how their procurement works, the levels of value of contract. I mean, you can see here what they're looking for: data quality, policy and standards, social value. So again, we'll come on to social value next week. Everything that the council are doing or what they're looking for, it's available. But the website on the winter. It's not so easy with private sector clients, because all you have to go on really is their website or any other knowledge that you might have, anything through their LinkedIn channels, their social channels. But with councils, say everything there, it's available. And understanding what they do, again, this is really key when you're putting your response, putting your tender document together. Understand what is new in their world. What are they proud of? What are their objectives? What do they want to achieve? I think Harrow has a 5-year plan. Go and have a look. What is their 5-year plan? What do they want to achieve in the borough? And then you're kind of talking their language. You're understanding what they want to achieve, and then you're kind of writing that back to them. We know what you're looking for. What kind of, what drives them. And then, of course, you can see what contracts are available as well. And so this is all, and this is for Watford, a list of contracts. You can see what's coming up in their procurement, the value of the contracts. So it's all there for you to find. That's why earlier on I was saying about managing this and allowing time, because there's quite a lot of research that is required. And I know there's somebody on this webinar today who has been through this. They've been through this program, and they actually set aside through a previous program, and they set aside time to literally just focus on doing exactly this. And I've been in touch with them, and I know they're having great success. It's changed their business, it's changed their whole business focus and their business model, and they are now engaged in conversations with various buyers. So it does work, and it's just a case of keeping at it and investing the time to, no pain, no gain, right? So it's one of those things that if you're willing to do this, it's not a half-hearted measure. It is something that requires time. But once you've done it once, like your pre-qualification questionnaire, once you've done it once, it's so much easier when you do it the next time around. Again, just more examples here of researching. This is just Google research. So it's all there for you to find. It's there. Again, so just what to look for. So I'll just run through this quickly. What is their strategy long term? What is their vision, their values? What challenges do they face? What opportunities are there? What goals do they have? How can you as a business actually make a difference to what they are actually looking for, those challenges? How could you actually help them overcome that? Any changes in market? Again, use the language that they use, read what they are saying, if it's maybe the leader of the council or something. Just that kind of sort of generic language that they're using, and just kind of use that back. Any relevant quotes? Who said what? It's councils and leader councils who want to create more green spaces, then you refer to that. We supply park benches, and we understand you want to create more green spaces, or something. So it's understanding what they are looking for and how you can actually meet that need. Okay, so that covers most of these sort of the bidding skills for today's workshop, and so we will build on this again next week in more detail. But just want to reiterate, because we've just got a few minutes left. Previous bid skills workshops, as I mentioned at the beginning, if you want to catch up on some others, so everything, these are an example of previous ones that we've delivered. Today's webinar, so it's being recorded, it will be uploaded maybe next week or early the week after, so it will be available to watch. So if there's any notes that you want to go through that, if you've not taken pictures or anything, there's any notes you want to go through, it will be available for you to catch up again. The one-to-one sessions, now these are for the Harrow programme. These are available for Harrow registered businesses only for the one-to-one, because the council fund it. I know the SME Academy, you're doing something different. You have these access to the workshops, but if you're a Harrow-based business, you've not had a one-to-one, make contact and you have a one-to-one session. This is kind of things we will cover, and then we get what we call an action card. So it's something that we complete, or once we've had our discussion, I will complete this action card, and then I send to you, or my colleague even, we will send to you the notes and the actions that were discussed. So it gives you something kind of tangible that you can work on, maybe like a little bit of homework for you to do, so you can tick it off as you go along. But it's a record of what we've discussed and the steps that you need to take. And so they're all confidential sessions. So yeah, if you're not booked, please do. There's also a series of Fit to Bid guidelines. So you can see here we've got examples of expressions of interest, social value. If it's something that you've not really adopted as a business yet, we've got some guidelines on what social value is and sorts of suggestions, examples of social value. What else have we got here? Communicating your growth story. So there's a whole lots of different things that you've guidelines that are here. It's all part of the program, so those are available to you. And then at the end, when the program winds up, there's a ebook for SMEs that you can keep and refer back to as and when. So Meet the Buyer events, so these are ones that we've delivered. Some of you would have seen this before, so quite a few Meet the Buyer events. We've had some really successful ones as well. Actually, they've all been successful, but some great events. We did Brent last year, Southwest Hearts. We just delivered a huge event up in Shendish Manor. That was back in November. Really well attended. It was a great one, and as was the recent Harrow one we did in November last year as well. They're great opportunities for you to meet those buyers face to face. So do attend those. And also Heathrow Business Summit. This is another opportunity, and not a lot of people actually know about the Heathrow Business Summit. it's held in November. November seems to be the month that everything happens. So 25, excuse me, myself and my colleagues attended the business summit, and I know some of the local SMEs have attended. It's free to attend. You have to register early because it gets booked up, but it's an opportunity to meet other suppliers there, but understand what Heathrow are doing, their objectives, how they engage with SMEs and work with SMEs. So that's something to look out for. As I say, we're a partner for Heathrow and run the Heathrow SME Academy. Yep, so that was the Meet the Bar event. Just a couple of case studies here. These are people who've been through the programme. This young lady here, Sarah, ran a small cleaning business, having been through the programme. She bid for a contract. She's done really well, actually, and she's won some awards. She now actually has the Royal Warrant. So she's done very well. She works for the Crown Commercial Service. The Pallets Yard, Ruth Ann and Ian, they are now supplying pallets to Heathrow, amongst other businesses. So they have completely transformed their business, and that's through being on this programme and learning how to bid for contracts. So we've had a few, and Chun-Li as well. She's won an award, Businesswoman of the Year, going through with her healthy air technology, all of whom have been through the contract. So these are just an overview of some of the businesses. We say, no, they can do it, so can you. These are people who have actually won contracts through. So quite a wide range as well. It's not all one type of business or another. So yeah, quite a few different ones here, as you can see. So quick overview, because I'm highly conscious we've only got a couple of minutes left. So this is today, the bid writing. Next week, 22nd, we've got improving your bid response. So we're talking a bit more detail on what we've covered today. 29th is specifically focused on public sector bids and tenders. It's slightly different procedure or process to private sector. And then we will have a pitching for success. And when we know, it's usually the day before the Meet the Bar event. So that's to be confirmed, as is the next Meet the Bar event. And I say the one-to-one sessions are ongoing through to March. So these are my details here. Do message me afterwards if you haven't booked your one-to-one session, and we'll get one of those booked in for you. And this is what we hope to see. You've registered for the programme, you book your one-to-one. It will help you submit an expression of interest, and hopefully you get a winning bid. I say it's a process. It's not something that happens overnight, but once you start on this journey, it opens up so many avenues for you. Quickly before we finish, got 1 minute, I just want to mention the Heathrow Liftoff programme. It's an opportunity for small businesses, and I've got some information here. The application now, it's run every quarter, and it's designed to help innovative SMEs collaborate with Heathrow and their supply chain. It is open. If you're thinking of doing it, it closes, the deadline response is the 29th, so you've got a couple of weeks to get this in. If it's something that you're interested in, just have a look at that there. So it's www.compete4.com/Heathrow/opportunities. If you want to take a picture of that, you can do. It's just something I wanted to mention as well for our colleagues for the Heathrow Academy as well. So that's another opportunity for you to connect with and maybe work with Heathrow. So we are just out of time. So we may not have time to put anything in the chat, I don't think. But if you go back, those are my details there, tracy@brandwin.co.uk, or my phone number. If you've got any questions or anything I haven't covered today, please let me just message me or give me a call, and I'll be happy to have a chat with you. So I hope you found it useful. Hopefully see you all again next week. So any questions, then give me a shout. Other than that, I wish you all a lovely day and a good rest of the week.